Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunch with Lisa. I'm Lisa Shield, and today I have two incredibly special guests joining who I am so excited about talking to for a million reasons. Laurie and Jim, thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you, Lisa. We're
Yeah,
happy.
thank you for inviting us to join you. And sharing. Let us share our relationship with you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And people don't get to see this very often, which is why I'm so excited to see two people who are so genuinely well matched, well suited, um, meant to be together. And I know one of the goals, Lori, in our program, in my Emotionally Naked Dating course, is
Mhm.
to create what we call a guardian of your soul relationship. And do you guys think you found that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I want to start, Lori, by asking you a few questions
Okay.
because I love your story and how we met and how you came into this whole process. It was absolutely amazing. So tell everybody how you found me.
Um, well, started to see your Lunch with Lisa lives on Facebook. Somehow they just got on my feed and I watched some and and I really resonated with you and what you were talking about. Um, and I kept thinking, well, maybe next year you know, I listened to your 45-minute presentation on your website pretty early on when I heard you on Facebook. And I always thought, well, maybe next year I'll get on a call with her and I'll do this maybe next year. For some reason, I just thought maybe next year. And
And
then
when did you get on? Like, how long did you wait?
not very long, actually. I think that I was just watching your podcast, your Lunch with Lisa um, lives only for like 3 months or so. And somehow, even though I said maybe next year I'll get on the call with you, something I can't remember what,
Yeah,
consciously, the
I
universe.
want to. Can I share with everybody that you are a therapist? And the reason I want to bring that up is because you have so much wisdom and insight and years of helping people. And what was it that you found of value in those Lunch with Lisas that would capture the attention of a woman like you?
Well, I think that, and you brought it up already, that phrase, the guardian of my soul. I think that what happened was, that it it articulated and made conscious what I was really looking for, that I had never been able to exactly make conscious, and it was different than looking for my soulmate, you
Wow.
know, and that not only was I looking for the garden of my soul, but I wanted to be the guardian of somebody else's soul. So I think that's really what,
Yeah.
because
Wow.
it really articulated and made it conscious. That's what it is that I'm looking for all these years.
That
Mm.
is so cool. I love hearing that. That is really, really great.
Yeah.
And we did our call, and you signed up for the course, and then what happened? I'm going to rub it in. I got to bring it up.
No, you're going to make me say it this time, not you. I called you back the next day and I said, "Oh, I think I made a mistake." Because really, where I had gotten to, Lisa, was that I really did believe that maybe this just wasn't in the cards for me this time around. It just wasn't in the cards for me. And so I called you back. Excuse my voice. I'm still a little bit bronchitis-y. Um, so that's why I called you back. And you, like you said, you fought for me and you explained why that just wasn't true.
Mhm. And it was still a bit of hand-holding as you went into the course and
Mhm.
all. And, I'm so proud of you, and I'm just so impressed by you because the little visitor, um, thank you, babe. It, what do I want to say? There was a voice that was saying, you can't have this or it's too late. But there was
Yeah.
something inside of you that showed up for you despite that voice, despite, whatever was being whispered in your ear. And you did it, you stayed in it. And talk about that, because what kept you in it, Laurie? How did you transition from being so, scared and wanting to run away to Jim?
um, well, the truth is that you and Benjamin and the group, um, holds a space that when the peaks and valleys of dating and me giving up when I'm in a valley, when I was in a valley and thinking, oh, who wants to do this anymore? Your work and your guidance and the groups, the whole support there just holds that space that, yes, it is possible. And the part of me, see, my thinking was, well, it's not in the cards for me, but how come I keep looking? And how come I keep feeling like this is something that I haven't fulfilled in my life that I want to fulfill? So I knew that there was that part of me. So I couldn't really 100% believe it's just not in the cards for me. Although, and then with the support of you, 100% believing that it's possible. And that's why the beauty of the group and the beauty of your work for anybody out there looking for the guardian of their soul, that's what works.
And Laurie, I think also, a lot of people don't really realize how much they need to do, like how many, blind spots, right? How many gaps in their knowledge there are. And so there's just this like, oh, I just have to go on the right site and meet the right guy and we're going to live happily ever after. Jim, I think you did some online dating, didn't you?
Yes.
Quite
a bit. Yes.
Quite a bit, right? And looking for this. And I think there's a part of all of us where we want this amazing relationship and we know what we're capable, we know what's possible, but it's then being able to go out and find that. And most people don't realize that there's some real work to do to make that happen.
And that's one of the things that you said to me on that first call was that, you go to school and you learned how to be a therapist and but in the dating world and finding what you're looking for in the way of a relationship, there's training also. And I had never thought of it like that. Like you said, you just, Cinderella and that the prince is going to come.
But how crazy, honest to God, how crazy is that to think that it's just going to happen that way? Nothing else in life works like that. Nothing, true. Unless, we're all born with certain gifts. But how many people just like meet the love of their life and, and sail off into a 40, 50, 60-year relationship like this?
Yeah. Very few. And they don't have the tools in this that I learned in your program is just.
What did you learn? Can you share a little bit about that, Laurie?
Yeah. Of course. I think most of all, it was, getting back to really sort of the basics, feminine and masculine, and really, tapping into my own femininity in a way that, I had lost a long time ago. And seeing when I was dating, but I was practicing before I met you, that the more feminine I was, the more masculine, the other person, the man was able to be. So that's, the first thing that I feel like, that was so important
And can
for
I say something? It's not like you don't always dress beautifully. You take care of yourself. I mean, in many ways, you looked the part, right?
Yes.
What's really interesting, and I'm noticing this right now as we're sitting on this call together, I'm noticing how much more of that you keep letting out. I mean, I can almost not remember the Laurie from before. And when it's so, Jim, I think, you play a big part in this too.
Mm.
You have really transformed. And Laurie, you're in your 60s, if I can share.
65, almost 66.
And I'm wondering if you've ever felt so fully expressed in your adult life.
Well, no, especially not in a relationship. I mean, I'm so able to be myself with Jim and to be. I think the one thing about femininity that you taught in the course, and that over time, just being in your next group keeps growing exponentially, is that the feminine, it's about receiving. Learn how to receive, and it was something that was really hard for me to do because I was the helper and when you're with a man, I mean, that's what happens. You receive the man inside your body, in all kinds of ways. So, when I was able to do that and understand more about man, which is the Benjaminship, which was so important to, I was stuck in the past with these concepts about how men think and how they are. And, so that was another part and to be able to receive, because the more I receive from Jim, and he's very, very, very giving, unbelievably giving, the more I find a way to give him in the way that nourishes him, and that, which is different than what he gives to me. It's a very different kind of exchange,
And so in so many ways, doing this work and the course and all, it really opened you up to this new way of being, new possibilities, even the belief that it can happen, that it could happen for you.
yes.
There were so many elements to why doing the program. It sounds like just so many things. It gave you a support system. It gave you modeling. It gave you role models.
And faith when I didn't have faith, which is so important. It's like,
seeing the other women, not just watching Benjamin and me, but watching the other women meeting their guys. And so, Laurie, you went on to join the mastermind, which, was such an honor for us, like for Benjamin and me. Anytime a woman wants to go to that level and continue her work with us and found so much value that she would want to continue. I mean, what an honor. It's such a validation that of the work. We feel that it's a validation of what we're doing and giving all of you when you want to continue working with us. So it's been so sweet being able to have all this extra time, but not only that, to have watched the unfolding of this incredibly handsome and loving
man.
Thank you.
Yeah, just amazing. Jim, I can't even thank you enough for being here and wanting to come. So
absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so we want to bring you in, and we want to hear from you. I'm gonna ask you about what made Laurie special to you.
Okay.
What you notice in her that you haven't seen maybe in other women that you've met.
Well, it started out, we were both on a dating website, obviously. And I had been out, I guess, for about 8 months on the site. and was very active. Okay, looked at a lot of profiles, as you can imagine, and so I saw her profile, and it jumped out. I mean, it was the best I had seen, and she was very specific on who she was, her characteristics, very specific in terms of what she was looking for. Okay, and she was looking for a hero. Okay, and kind of an old school, person. Okay, and so I responded, all the traits that she was looking for. I felt like, you know what, I've got, most, if not all of those. And, I basically responded and said, hey, I'm your man. I want to be your hero. Where do I sign up? Okay. So she got my attention right off the bat. I knew she was special. I mean, she was very straightforward in terms of what she put in the profile. And then, when we met, she was all of that and more. So, it was wonderful.
Can I pause you for one moment here, because what you're sharing is really important for women who are listening to this. In that profile, she really did say who she is and what she wants.
Right.
And so many love coaches and so much of what you read says, don't do that. You're going to scare them away. Nobody's going to live up to that, whatever. And you're saying the exact opposite, that you
Right.
were, yeah.
Right. Because I can't begin to tell you, I won't spend a lot of time on it. And I think a lot of people encounter this on dates. People, put out a profile, and then the person that shows up, isn't anything like the profile. And it's like, no, hold on here. Who are you? And, so, yeah, I mean, it wastes everybody's time. I mean, why be misleading about it? I mean, crazy.
When you read Laurie's profile, was there something about it that made you think she is who she says she is?
Well, right off the bat, one of the priorities for me is a great smile. Okay, and she, in her pictures,
she wins
the smile trophy.
Yeah, the smile award for sure.
Yeah. Well, and she's got a great laugh, and she's funny, and all of that for starters. And then you go right down the list. She's so, unselfish, giving, compassionate, intelligent, spiritual, you go right down the list of all her characteristics. I mean, she's just very special.
Oh, beautiful, Jim. She is. She really is. And so what's different? And I know these are all traits you love about her. What really touches your soul about the kind of woman that Laurie is with you? Because you two have such an incredible connection.
Well, the biggest thing, I think it really came out maybe on the second date, is, and we were very comfortable on the first date. We obviously decided to see each other for a second, but we could just be ourselves. I mean, we were very comfortable with each other. We could just be ourselves and let it flow. And it's just, it was just, I hate to say it, but it was so easy. I mean, it really was. And it was like,
and
wow.
It continues to be.
Yeah, and continues to be. And, and I could be open and honest, and just, I felt, things just flowing, on the second date. And I thought, wow, this is unlike me. I'm just so comfortable with her that, yeah, I want to pursue this.
Had you felt that way before?
Not to that extent. Normally it takes at least me longer to really get to know somebody to be able to get to that point. And quite frankly, I've never, and I've shared this with Laurie, I've never been able to totally open up, to this point. Absolutely not. I mean, it's about, feeling safe and secure and comfortable to be able to, lay yourself and your emotions out there. And
as a man, can I ask you, what is it like for you to be able to do that? Like, how does that feel?
Liberating. It's so liberating.
Is it really?
I mean, this is a guy who, has stuffed, and we've talked about this, stuffed emotions down, most of my life.
Wow.
I wasn't prepared to deal with them. Okay. And it's taken a lot of time to get to this point. And like I told Laurie, I'm not sure that if we had met a year ago and maybe even 6 months ago, that this would have worked. It has taken me time to get there. And she has said, same with her. And I think the stars aligned and said, you know what? I think you folks are ready for this. So here we go. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Jim, maybe it hasn't, I don't know if it's been a conscious thing for you or if it's always just, but this is sort of what do I want to say? Like the gold star or the platinum star of relationships, what you and Laurie have. It's really, really very special. A genuinely open, emotionally naked, loving, supportive connection. I mean, that's what I see.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah. And has this been something you've been longing for all your life?
Absolutely. We've talked about it. I didn't know that a relationship could be this wonderful. I mean, it's like, I had this old school approach where, the old diagram where here's my world, okay, here's your world, and where we intersect, that's a relationship. And then and it just kind of happens, okay? And as I came into this relationship, as I told Laurie, is that I've boiled everything down. Okay, I've tried to simplify it, and I said the only thing I want in life at this point is to love and be loved. Okay, number one. Number two, I want to live in the now. Okay, let's not talk about the past. Obviously, at our point, we have past, and let's not live for the future. Let's enjoy the now. Okay. And so yeah, those were key points.
Although we do make future plans.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. I mean, we're going to celebrate her birthday in Maine. So yeah, we do make plans, but not get caught up in the future.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Jim, do you think there's a lot of men out there who are longing for this, who want this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think they need to look inside themselves and to be able to open up and, show a woman. My issue was, like a lot of men, not being intimate, not being able to, open up and be intimate and, show your true self.
Naked.
And, being afraid and being naked. And it takes, I think, the right lady and the right circumstances to be able to do that.
Jim, what did you do on your end? I know Laurie is this incredible permission space for you to show up authentically, and she's so loving and accepting. But what did you do on your end? Did you any men's groups or courses or any work at your end?
Absolutely. I was part of a men's group, so that was helpful. I seek counseling, have for, a number of years. Okay. And I went through, a difficult divorce. All right. And coming out of that divorce, I knew that I needed to work through the process. Okay. Post divorce. All right. And I told myself that I'm not going to, I'm in no condition or place to be, for in any relationship until I examine myself. Who am I? What am I looking for? What are my needs? So I literally took a year off. I committed to myself. I'm not doing anything for a year. Okay. And quite frankly, when the year arrived, and I said it in my profile, I was very happy with my life. Okay. And I actually took, quite a bit of time to just evaluate, say, what, do I really, I'm happy where I am. Do I really want to get out there and put myself out there? And it took me a little while to wrestle with that and say, you know what, you're not going to be totally fulfilled. If you do find the right person, you want the whole thing. You want to be totally fulfilled. And that's when I, went on the dating side. But it took, a while to get through. I don't have to tell you, it's a rough road out there. And, a couple of times, I was questioning, I guess kind of like Laurie was. Do I really want to do this? And I work with a couple of great ladies, and they've been kind of muses to me. And they said, Jim, if you weren't out there, what would you be doing? Sitting at home, feeling sorry for yourself?
Good for them.
Get your butt out there. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, you get hurt, you pick yourself out and you up and go out and give it your best. That's all you can do. So that was very helpful too.
That's fantastic. They gave you a kick in the butt.
Oh, absolutely.
got you out there. We owe them a debt of gratitude.
Yeah, we sure do.
I should
We sure do.
Oh my God, that's great. Wow. So what do you both notice? I mean, look, I think this idea, which I'm just going to say the guardian of the soul thing, I would have loved to have come up with that. Those are Benjamin's, those are my husband's beautiful words. And this is next level relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It really is. This is next level. And I want to know, talk from your perspective, both of you, if you would share. Talk about what it's like to be guardians of each other's souls and be in a guardian of each other's soul relationship. What is that?
Okay, I think I do want to say, and this is for everybody that's watching, that the first thing is that he is the guardian of my soul and I am the guardian of his soul, but we would not have picked each other.
Right.
We would not have picked each other.
Right.
If you put him in a line of guys and said, Laurie, which one? I wouldn't have picked him and he wouldn't have picked me.
Right.
And
why wouldn't you have picked each other?
We went against type, basically.
Because we both had a different type that
a different physical type, a different
type. Yeah, right. Different physical type. We both did.
And in terms of left brain and right brain, okay, she's definitely right and I'm definitely left.
But it totally works. But also, that type. But for some reason, because of what the profiles, and I loved his profile too, so we took a chance. And I wouldn't have done that. I would have said no unless I was in the course, because Lisa really, they do teach. You just, don't, your type, my type didn't get me anywhere. But here we are. And now, oh my God, he's the most handsome guy in the world to me. So,
thank you.
But as far as the garden, being the guardian of his soul, I think for me, it's just really giving him, the space to, always create a space where he can feel emotionally safe, whatever that is. If he needs room, to be alone, that's fine. I'm all for that, because the truth is that when he's away and we're not together on some days, I don't feel like he's away. I've never felt like that before, but with him, that's how I feel. So just, creating a space for him to feel really safe and to let him know all the time how much I love him and how handsome I think he is, and the gratitude that I feel, and we both, we both do that all the time. And I think that for me is the key to really, being the guardian of someone's soul, is to, wherever they are, to just make that okay and to be with them in that. And then in the kindest possible way, not project anything from my past onto him, that I certainly, could have, if I was still looking at him like he was somebody, partly from the past. But the course allowed me to really move on to that, from that.
Lisa, she told me early on, she said, Jim, I love who you are and what you are. Just be yourself. I mean, to hear that from a lady, I mean, it's so overwhelming. It's so powerful.
I can't remember
yeah.
saying that.
Yeah. You did, yeah. Hmm. Just be yourself.
And mean it.
And mean it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Her, really show up on her end as a woman to create a space for you.
Right.
I think, Jim, maybe you'd agree. A lot of women just don't know how to make space for a man. And a lot of it, I think, is our neediness and our insecurity. We're so desperately trying to get what we want from men that we don't make room for men in the relationship. Have you felt that?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Obviously, every lady's different, but it's I guess to a certain extent it is a leap of faith, to put yourself out there, and we've all been hurt, along the way, and it's you have to put that experience kind of behind you. I mean, you can't just drag that with you, going forward. And and every situation and every person that you meet is different, and give it the best you can. Be open-minded about it. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and I think the question was really, but have you felt sometimes as a man that there wasn't room for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For various reasons, career or a prior relationship or, whatever it was. Yeah. But, a different priority, another priority. I don't have time or the emotion or the space, for a relationship. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And tell me about being the guardian of Laurie's soul.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
My slave.
Yeah.
How do
I
you
love it. Initially, it's kind of, you think, well, that's a huge responsibility. But, she, creates the space where, again, Jim, I love you. I love who you are. Be yourself. Okay. And just let it happen. And like I told her early on in the relationship, as far as I'm concerned, it's about you. It's not about me. So I cater to her. Okay. And that makes a huge difference.
And he brings me gifts and cards and, and he, I guess from my side of how he is the guardian of my soul, I just feel like, he's made me feel so safe. I've never had to question his love for me or his support. I know I could call him if he was at home and I was here in the middle of the night and he'd answer the phone and get up and, if I eat anything, like anything. And that I just, as I just feel he loves me, which is.
Well, and it's important to understand. And she, early on, both of us are this way. We communicate really well, okay, on our own and with each other. And she made it real clear early on that she wanted, clear, consistent, concise communication. And I do that. I mean, that comes naturally for me. Okay.
I know.
So I greet her in the morning with a text. Good morning. It's consistent. We text, each other at night, short chats along the way, but it's consistent, clear, concise. And that's important to both of us.
Yeah, I did. I let him know in the beginning that, that consistency is really what I needed. And, and because of your course, I was able to say it in a very light, uplifting kind of, this is just what, really turns me on. And
right.
he's never, ever, ever dropped the ball on that. I mean, ever. And he's really good at like summing up where we are and, in a way, he's a better communicator than I am in a certain kind of way.
Wow. But you also were able, Laurie, to ask for what you wanted.
Right.
And Jim was, he cares enough about you, about the relationship, wants to find, he wants to make you happy. And
that's the thing, is that the way that he is the guardian of my soul is that it really, I could see that it gives him joy to make me happy.
Right.
If I'm
It
not,
does.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it gives him joy. And I'm finally in a place where I'm able to receive it, and so it's just like, I never in a million years thought it could be this good.
And I love from the standpoint that you do communicate, what you want or don't want, not necessarily.
Yeah.
And so there's no guessing involved. Well, what is she thinking? What is she needing? What is she wanting?
And it's always in we're very kind, and it's never, that thing about shaming men, women shaming men, and ordering them around, do this, it's never like that. It's just like, oh wow, that would really, he'd be my hero, and he is my hero.
And you want to be with the guy when you say it like that, who's like, oh yeah, of course I can do it for you. It's lovely.
And he does it in 1,000-fold. It's not just, he goes beyond even what I'm asking.
You said something, Laurie, which really leapt out at me. You said, I never in a million years could have imagined it would be this good.
Never. And it keeps getting better. I'm not kidding. It just is. It just keeps, and it's not even like, it's not because we did this or we did that. It's just energetically. It's like, it just keeps getting better and more. I couldn't be more comfortable with someone. And that's what I said once, I feel like I can, with Jim, it's like I'm alone. I remember that first time I said it in the car, I said, oh, it was like our fourth date. I said, oh, it's like I'm alone, except that I'm with you. Like I was that comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have to bring up, well, I don't have to, but I'm going No, just the stage and the age that you both are at in life. And, a lot of people at your ages are throwing up their hands and just, right? Why bother? It hasn't happened. I'll just enjoy my life. I've got my kids, I've got my grandkids, I've got whatever, talk about that, because
I did say that once to you on one of the calls. I was already in the mastermind, and I had met Jim. I said, well, what's the point? He's this old and I'm that old. And you said, you sort of leaned back and you looked at me, you said, yeah, but even if it's for 5 or 10 years, what?
Right.
Don't miss out on this. You said, don't miss out on this. So that really, and I think that, that thing with me about, it's not in the cards for me. Why bother? I'm 60 something years old. That is fear, and I think that that's another part of the course and the mastermind that was so helpful, that, you really helped me see, what was the fear side of me and what was the higher part of myself that really wanted love. Because what's life about except love? Love is the best thing that we can get and do here.
Can you imagine if you hadn't done this?
Oh, God.
Laurie, if you hadn't done this, and Benjamin and I are like a through line, like we're just holding that space, trying to the best of our abilities to give you the pieces that you need and all, and hold that space for you to believe and stay out there long enough to make it. Because we know what it is. We've had it for 20 years.
Yeah.
We know. I mean, our relationship just gets better. Right. We love each other more. We have, if it's even possible, to have more fun, and tragedy, going through tragedy, which has also been, but we have had this for 20 years. And I'm so happy. I'm just so happy that this.
Yeah. holding the space like that was no small matter to anybody that is thinking about doing your course. That will, that's what got me here, among other things. But because you totally believe, because you have it, that you totally. So when we don't believe it, you're like, no, you're wrong.
Never like, one thing I told myself when after I really got to a certain point anyway, I said, I'm not going to dumb my relationship down so other people can think, can go, oh, okay, or whatever. No, I mean, I have helped many women consciously create relationships very similar to what Benjamin and I have. And you guys are a living example of this. I mean, truly. And I'm listening because I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm listening to the two of you talk. This is it. You guys found it. This is it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's never too late.
That's right. As we know.
As we know. Yeah.
And we both recognize that this is it for us, that we're in this until the end together. We do.
Love this.
I know, and that I'm able to say that and really know it. And it's like a miracle. It is a miracle.
And it was, Laurie, it was done intentionally on both of your parts. It was very intentional. And I think that that's what people don't really understand about creating this. We just want it. We want it. And somehow we've been sold a bill of goods that it's our divine right and whatever. And then people literally lull themselves into this fantasy and go through life.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen.
But that's the thing, the thing that I was talking about at the beginning, the guardian of my soul. When I heard that, it's almost like that's what I could finally resonate. That's what I was trying to articulate all these years. And then I could beam it out into the universe in such a clear way that then Jim came in.
I just want to thank you both for being here. Is there anything that you want to add just to tell the women? I'll ask Jim first, the women, just to find a guy like you that's so handsome and
and I've thought about this. I put down a couple of points, but
good.
That's just the way
he always has notes.
Yeah. Love it. Oh my God.
To me, it starts with being open-minded, kind of like we both were. We went against type and, rather than kind of predetermining or prejudging or, narrowing, the field, if you will, just be open-minded.
Be open the field.
You just don't know where it's going to wind up. The other thing is, through experiences, get beyond the eye candy, the physical aspect, of what's in front of you, and really take the time, if it makes sense under the circumstances, to dig deep. Look into
for a man.
Look into their eyes, look into their heart, look into their soul. And really try to, understand who she is. Rather than this, like I say, eye candy or, surface beauty. Let's see what else. Key thing to me also is, focus. A lot of guys, and myself included prior, are very focused on themselves. And, if a guy can get to a point, it's the same thing with ladies, I think, to a certain extent. We're all self-protected and we have our fears. But, if we can get outside ourselves, and focus on the other person, and that's very helpful also because, particularly for guys, if we're so focused on ourselves, we're no good to somebody else, quite frankly. Has to be, a giving of emotion and heart and, and of ourselves.
Verbal expression.
Let's see.
Good.
I think that's good enough. Yeah.
That was
somebody,
great.
yeah, somebody who's kind-hearted. I would say a giver as opposed to a taker, who has a kind heart, a warm heart. Yeah.
Beautiful. Jim, thank you so much for
You're
that.
very welcome.
I think the women will get a lot out of it, and any men who are listening. You two are such a beautiful example of everything. And I'm just going to say, of everything Benjamin and I are wanting, for you all to have, that I would just feel to know that we've had a hand in this, that we feel so proud of the two of you, to see this result.
You had 4 big hands in this.
Well, to see this result is is what our
Yeah.
work and our life is about, and to be able to help you all create this. And so honor to see this. And, thank you. Just thank you both for coming on and sharing so vulnerably, it's beautiful.
I don't know if we have one more thing, if we have a second.
Of course, go ahead.
But also, the way that he loves me and the way that he, is always telling me how beautiful he thinks I am on the days that I can't think I'm beautiful, now it's different because he does. I'm like, okay, 5 pounds here or there. I can stretch into that, on any given day because he just looks at me with so much, love and, he verbalizes it all the time.
And you walk through your life differently, feeling loved. There's just a different, right?
Yes.
When you're walking, you just somehow feel protected and safe.
And you can love everybody else so much more and give so much to the world. And, it's just like, it's just this.
Oh, Laurie, you're amazing, amazing, truly, truly. And I'm so happy you brought this incredible man into your life.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah.
One of the great ones. So knocked it out of the park. Well, I just want again to say thank you, and thank you to everybody who listened, who joined us today. I am Lisa Shield. This has been Laurie and Jim. Laurie has been a client for almost a little over a year, probably.
A little over a year, yeah.
And she's just been a blessing in my life, and just is just breathtaking. So thank you. And if you would like to learn more about what we do, my husband Benjamin and I, we show women how to find the guardians of their souls, a gem. And if ever there was a fine example of that, this man is truly. So if this is something you really long for, then please, I work with women of all ages. And it doesn't matter if you're in your 70s or if you're in your 20s. We really can help you just stop having more learning experiences. I mean, why would you want to keep going through relationship after relationship if there really is a real roadmap for finding love? Benjamin and I have that roadmap. So please look us up, go to lisashield.com, click the button to watch my short 45-minute free presentation, which is how Laurie got here.
Yes.
And stay to the end, because at the end of that presentation, you can book a call with me or a member of my team, and we will talk to you personally about how we can help you find the guardian of your soul. I do a podcast called Dating Without Drama. This is one of 2 episodes we produce each week. And the second is with my husband, Benjamin, called Getting Inside the Right Male Mind. So please listen to both of those. Tell everyone you know, and come back again. Please give my YouTube channel a thumbs up. And if you have any questions at all, please send them to podcast@lisashield.com. Laurie, Jim, thank you from the bottom of
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
you. It has been such a joy. This really is one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. So
Oh,
thank you. It really has been. Thank you.
Lisa, I love you so much. Thank you.